Boxing truth here. There ain't much boxing going on. So everything's been canceled for the month of March and April. But there's still some topics to discuss. I feel like talking some boxing even though there's not much to talk about in terms of fights happening in the actual ring. But still topics to discuss. So I'm going to bang out some videos. There ain't much to do now these days. We all just got to ride it out and hope for better days in the near future. So let's talk about most overrated fighters in boxing. And I'm going to go by the pound-for-pound list. I'm looking at one of the lists here. This is Ring Magazine's ratings. This is their top 10, who they feel is the 10 best fighters in the world. Let me go with the most overrated fighters in the pound-for-pound list. And according to this list, the most overrated fighter on this list is this chump right here, Nia Inoue. High as number 3, even though doesn't really have any elite wins on his resume. He's beaten okay champions, beaten never was, never will be's, beating guys who won vacant straps, Payanos, Emmanuel Rodriguez, who never made a defense of his title. Maybe had one defense. Payano ain't that much. Won life and death with Nonito Donaire, who hadn't had a great performance in years, but they got him as high as number 3. Inoue has much more to prove to say that he's a top 3 pound-for-pound level fighter. Yeah, he looks good with the knockout wins, the dispatching of some barely above average, pretty much average champions or former champions. But he's done his part for the most part in the fights that he was supposed to win, getting thrilling knockout victories, but he's not fighting the best fighters in the world. The guy ducked the elite fighters at 115 to fight hyped up bantamweights. So until he fights Estrada, until he fights Rungvisai, even if he fights Chocolatito, that will be a step in the right direction. A faded version of Chocolatito. But he won't even do that. Instead, he wants to fight hyped up bantamweights. Guys who won vacant straps. Wash fighters coming down in weight and can't even do the job. Goes life and death with. Inoue, according to this list, is the most overrated fighter on the list. Now here's the second most overrated fighter. My man Terrence Crawford. Terrence Bud Crawford. Man, this cat just can't get a break. Gonna be 33 years old this year, and his best win is Jeff Horn. That's just some shame. That's some sad shit right there, bro. He is the Gennady Golovkin of his time. Dispatching overmatched opponents. Hasn't fought any elite names. Hasn't even been in any elite fights. And his best win is Jeff Horn. Ain't that a bitch? Needs a big fight much sooner rather than later. But with the sports world on hold, that big fight's not going to come anytime sooner. But there are opportunities such as Josh Taylor in the near future, Jose Ramirez in the near future. So there are some opponents that are upcoming for Crawford, but he needs a big fight for his next fight. And Aaron ain't got shit for him. No one knows when Errol Spence will return. It doesn't look exactly like he's anywhere near the welterweight division these days. But definitely, he is among the most overrated fighters on this list. Lomachenko is too high. If he beats Teofimo Lopez and becomes undisputed, he has a case for maybe being a top 3, top 2 guy. But right now he's too high. He hasn't had a good performance in a long time. Not a great performance. He struggled in the lightweight division, was losing on one of the cards against Linares, got dropped before he knocked him out, had a tough fight and got hurt a few times in the fight against Luke Campbell. I mean, these are not exactly... Luke Campbell is not an elite lightweight. A top 10 lightweight, but not an elite lightweight. Linares was a good champion, but flawed fighter, flawed champion. And he struggled against him. Whenever that fight against Teofimo Lopez happens, we'll find out how really good Lomachenko is. Usyk should be in the top 5, especially if he gets more significant victories in the heavyweight division. Spence and Crawford, the only 2 American fighters that really should be on the list. It's unbelievable that Tyson Fury is not on the list, and is absolutely disrespectful that Manny Pacquiao is as low as number 10. This guy's best win is his last fight. Estrada is an elite fighter in the lighter weight divisions and is being blatantly docked. But anyway, this guy right here is on his way out. Overrated as fuck. Over the past few years, he's been a disappointment. His team promoted him well, was his so-called record machine, but his best win is a life and death struggle against Danny Jacobs. This dude is on his way out, and if those terms are actually true, those reports are actually true, that Canelo and Golovkin have reportedly agreed to terms for a third fight, it's going to be another ass-whooping and landslide victory for Canelo Alvarez. A very much clear-cut win for Canelo the third time around, and Golovkin may possibly get stopped. Easy work for Canelo, but hey, at least Golovkin is going out with a bang, getting the biggest payday while taking the least amount of risk possible before getting that third fight with Golovkin. Golovkin's a chump, man. Fighting, I don't even remember the dude's name, his first comeback fight. Then freaking almost loses to Derevchenko, gets hurt by Derevchenko. Now he's taking all this time and all these months to fight this nobody as a mandatory. Now he's gonna get this Canelo third fight because Canelo is being offered all this money and it's too good to turn down. But Canelo will gladly dispatch of Golovkin for the third and last time, and Golovkin will be retired. But at least he'll get his payday while taking the least amount of risk possible before he got that big third fight. So your top 3 most overrated fighters on this list: Inoue, Crawford, and Lil G. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.